Hello and welcome to our Golu for Navratri 2019. Numbers are an integral part of our lives, and especially for us Indians, our mythology is intertwined with numbers. Navratri, if you take for instance, we have 10 days, the three Devis Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. We have an odd number of steps, even number of betel leaves that we offer our guests, and a lot of maths going on there. So we decided to go with numbers as the theme. And another aspect about Navratri or Dashara is it's very welcoming and inclusive. So we decided that we will go with that theme of inclusivity, and make it two pronged. One is numbers in and their significance in mythology and also in non-mythology. And for non-mythology, we chose several areas that my husband and I share interest in, like wildlife or astronomy, literature, defense, so on and so forth. So let's begin now with one. We have the Ardhanarishwarar, that's Shivan and Parvati, coming together and showing us that end of the day, despite any differences, it's all one. It's one Paramatma. So that's Ardhanarishwarar for one. And here we have greatest of all time sports stars, and sports especially is a field where the winner and others are separated very clearly and in a very, very undebatable manner. So we have Usain Bolt, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, Sachin Tendulkar, Roger Federer, and Messi for soccer. So that's the representation of one. For two, we have Shiva and Parvati again. The two of them, however, representing the forces or the energy forms. Shiva is kind of the kinetic energy with this Rudra Tandavam, and Shakti is the potential energy defined by the name Shakti itself. So they represent the duality in in the world and in all living forms that actually make this earth a habitat, right? So we have them, and talking about duality, nothing like chess representing duality. There are two colors, black and white, two players, and the queen, who is omnipotent. She's so agile and is able to move across, and the king, however, is a power center. So defining the duality, we have chess. So that's number two. And for three, we once again have Shiva. He symbolizes three so beautifully because he holds a trident. That's his choice of weapon. He's called the Mukkannan in Tamil because he has three eyes, the third eye being in his forehead. And his wife is called Triambake. And why he even comes third in the order of gods in Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, because he is the destroyer of evil. On the note of destroyer, we for three also have the Army, Navy, and Air Force, the three defense forces of India, and in our own humble way, we salute them for keeping us safe. Three, and India, for Indian forces especially, because not all countries have three defense forces. US, for instance, has four, including the Marines. So that's specifically Indian armed forces. For four, we have a couple of things each for mythology and non-mythology. We have Appar, Sundarar, Jnana Sambandar, and Manika Vasakar, the four famous Nayan Margal in the Shaivite tradition. We have Adi Shankarar here. He, within a young age of 33, walked the length and breadth of India. And not only that, he established the four madams, famously known as Chardham. Badrinath in north, Rameshwaram in south, Puri of Orissa in the east, and Dwaraka of Gujarat to the west. So that's another representation of four in mythology. We have the Ashoka pillar, the emblem of India, with four lions facing each direction. And representation of science and technology here, we have the drone. This is the only vehicle or only thing that transports with four propellers. Helicopter has one. The drone is the only entity with four. It's also called a quadcopter for this reason. So that's four. And for five, we were spoiled for choices for five, quite a few options there. But we decided to go with Gayatri Devi because her five phases, each of them, according to one school of thought, represent the five forces of life, right? Panchapudam, otherwise called as Panchapudam in Tamil. Another school of thought says each phase represents each aspect that encompass the Gayatri Mantram. So either way, she's an embodiment of life, and hence we decided to go with Gayatri Devi there. And our Golu is never complete with our favorite Panchamukha Vinayakar, and there he is in all his glory. We decided to go with literature, and especially Tamil literature, for number 5. So this is the Aimperum Kappiyam, the 5 great epics in Tamil. We have represented them by way of the ornaments that maybe not as direct reference in each case, but a name of an ornament is mentioned in the name of each of the epic. This is Sivaka Sintamani, written by Thiruthakka Devar, and Sintamani means a jewel in the tiara, and we have Kundalakesi, Kundalam meaning an earring. We have Valayapati, Valai meaning bangles. We have Mani Mekalai, which is an ornamental belt made of pearls. We also have the Silappadikaram, written by Langovadigal, with the famous Kannagi, Kovalan and Madhavi. And Silamba means an anklet, a thick anklet that may in some cases have gems or jewels filled inside. So that's the Aimperum Kappiyam for 5. For 6, Kartikeya, the younger son of Shiva and Parvati, he is called Sashtashtagar because his mantram is Om Sharavana Bhava, 6 syllables. So he's a Sashtashtagar, he has 6 faces and he has 6 abodes, each abode signifying an event in his life. So we have the Arupadai Veeda represented here for 6. And Navratri is a festival where an empowered woman helps herself and helps the world by destroying evil. So we decided to go with 6 countries, and it's a sad fact that there are only 6 countries out of the 193 UN recognized countries that have equal rights for man and woman. That's Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, France, Luxembourg and Latvia. So this is our Hall of Fame for those 6 countries. Marapachi Bommai is there, wooden dolls, which are a mandatory feature of a South Indian Golu, connecting to the theme of man and woman. So that's 6. For 7, we have the Saptarshi Mandalam. Indian mythology is deeply rooted in astronomy, celestial events, or even the age of sun are predicted to the T. Lot of maths involved there again. But this Saptarshi Mandalam was spotted and glorified in Indian mythology long before it was scientifically spotted as a constellation called the Ursa Major, or we all know it better as Big Dipper. So each Rishi is supposed to be a star, and that's Saptarshi Mandalam. Of course, which Rishi is which star is debated all over. We don't want to get into that. But when we researched on Saptarshi Mandalam, we also figured that each rishi is connected to the seven senses. I know that we know these senses as five senses, or even in Tamil as Aimpulan, but in Vedas, they're called seven because each eye is counted as one, nostril similarly, and ears similarly. So, and them with mouth makes it seven. So that's seven rishis. So since we found this in our research about Sapdarshi, we thought we'll share it with all of you. And here we have the seven continents. Each continent, I mean, nature is so beautiful. Each continent has its own unique species of animals. For instance, an anaconda for South America, you won't find it just across the border in North America, right? Or for that matter, even in Mexico. You have the macaw birds. Similarly, the golden bald eagle of US. The polar bear, grizzly bear for North America. You also have the reindeer and the Siberian tiger in Russia for covering the continent of Europe. Reindeers, you may all have a recall of associating them with Santa Claus, right? Santa Claus rides a chariot driven by reindeers all the way from Scandinavia. Africa is, once again, embarrassment of riches in terms of animals. There's the gorilla, giraffe, African elephant, lions, cheetah, all of them. Asia represented by the cute panda, and for the desert region you have the camel, and in India, of course, you have tigers and peacocks. The mammals, famous mammals, kangaroo for Australia, and we also have this cute colony of penguins for Antarctica. So that's seven continents represented by the native wildlife there. For 8, it's fairly simple, right? No Golu is complete without the Ashtalakshmis. Lakshmi meaning wealth, and by wealth here we don't just mean material wealth. Courage, for instance, is denoted as a Lakshmi, Veera Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi, and even knowledge is represented as a Lakshmi. So that's Ashtalakshmi. And we got lucky because recent studies and research proved that Pluto is a dwarf planet. So there are only 8 planets in the solar system. So there you have the solar system, at least until somebody says otherwise in the next research. We'll have 8 planets. So this Golu has planets there. For 9, we have Durga. She is the goddess for Navratri. And we have Navadurgas here, the 9 forms of Durga. Each Durga apparently is also associated with 9 grahams, or the Indian or Hindu way of denoting planets. Of course, these are not essentially planets. They are celestial bodies that are close to Earth, that could impact our lives by way of their positioning. So that's Navadurga, and we have Navadhanyam. Navadhanyam, once again, these are staple to India, right? Each of these grains are staple to India, native food here in India. Today we talk about organic living, but long before these 9 grains have been celebrated for various reasons. So that's Navadhanyam. For 10, we have the Dasavataram, the 10 incarnations of Vishnu. And this is important for us here in this Golu, especially because this led us to this whole theme. Several years later, Charles Darwin would research in the Galapagos Islands and create the theory of evolution, right? Prove the theory of evolution. But Dasavataram, told in very simple story form, the same theory of evolution, saying that first came the fish, then came an amphibian in form of a turtle, then came a small land mammal in form of a wild boar, then came a half man, half woman entity, somewhat like a Neanderthal, right? And this is exactly what Charles Darwin proved with evidence by way of his research. Western world today actually debates it, but we still believe in it. Algae, then came the fish. Charles Darwin researched extensively in the Galapagos Islands using the sea lion. He also researched on tortoise because that has the highest, longest life expectancy. Then came a four-legged mammal. And then here we let our imagination run wild. We have a chimpanzee here, which is an animal trying to, or a mammal trying to stand on two legs, right? Almost a human, but not human yet, like the Narasimhavataram. And then after that came an early man, right? The hunter man, an African pygmy who was short. And Vamanavataram is a short man having very simple needs. He just asked for 3 feet of land. And this hunter man later on became a farmer. He learned how to farm. He became a farmer. He also started organizing communities, started establishing civilization. So we have the Parashuramar and Balaramar who have axe in their hand representing farming, choice of weapon there. And Ramar is known for his governance, administration, and principled way of living, much like the farmer man who tried to bring in guidelines and rules for an easy and righteous way of living. Then that man learned how to be smart, how to be a street smart person, and a little bit of cunningness there, right? So there comes our politician, and master politician, and who better than Krishna, right? And finally, we don't know where the world is going. We don't know where we are going. But according to the Savataram, Kalki either rides a horse, or in some say he has a horse face, but he has something to do with horses. And horse is a symbol of speed. And that essentially to us is Alexas and Siris of the world, right? Speed with artificial intelligence. So we think the next step in evolution is a robot or machine for that matter, right? So that's 1 to 10 mythology and non-mythology. But we didn't stop there. We also have 0 and infinity, but only for mythology. 0, we have this really cute Ganesha who's going on a walk carrying his umbrella. We have him because in Tamil they say Pillayar Suri. And before someone starts writing a serial number 1 with anything, they use a Pillayar Suri right at the top of the page. And Suri means 0, a circular form. And Ganesha is that 0, not because 0 doesn't have any value, but because 0 is so neutral. He's the only god worshipped alike by Shaivites and Vaishnavites. He just needs a tree, and he makes the tree his adobe. So that's Ganesha for 0. And for infinity, we have the Annapurni. She symbolizes infinity because, once again, 0 and infinity both were discovered and defined by Indians, right? 0 and infinity are both abstract forms. 0 by Aryabhatta and infinity by Ramanujar. The Annapurni's bowl that she has in her hand, it has a form, but it is bottomless. So try imagining that as something as abstract as that. So Annapurni defines infinity for us. That bowl is, for easy understanding, the Akshaya Patram, right? Or a cornucopia as known in English. So that's 1 to 10, 0 and infinity, and that is our Golu this year. We want to, at this point, thank all the lovely ladies, gents, and ever enthusiastic kids who visited our Golu and inspired us to make this video. God willing, we should come up with a bigger and better theme for 2020 Navratri. So thank you for patient listening.